Hi, welcome to the What's New in Auditor. We released a new build of Auditor and added some new features, so let's take a look. You can now easily see what's new in an Auditor build by going to the Help window and choosing Rockton Software Support. In this window, you'll see the What's New button. Click the drop-down and choose Auditor. There's a drop-down because you may have more than one Rockton product. When you click the product, the What's New document will open. The next feature is one of our biggest and most asked for features. It's the transaction lifecycle. Many of you are probably familiar with the Journal Voucher Roadmap feature we added previously. Since its release, we've been asked about adding something similar to our other main modules. So we've added it for sales order processing, purchase order processing, receivables management, and payables management. The transaction lifecycle process will track who created, approved, and posted a transaction. In this window, you can choose the module. We're using payables management, and you can also choose the document statuses and the transaction types related to the module. You may use other filters as well to narrow down the results, such as created by and date created. We also have user compare filters. This will allow you to see when a user performed more than one step in the process. In this example, we're viewing transactions where the created by equals the posted by user. In the grid, I can see the information related to the results, but I can also move columns around and put them in the order I'd like to see them. This window will definitely help you when the auditors come around. The transaction lifecycle process is turned on automatically for your convenience. If there is a reason you wouldn't want to track the information, then you can disable the tracking. This is done by going to the Auditor shortcut and System Settings. And in this window, click Options, and a new system setting has been added to disable tracking for the transaction lifecycle and the Journal Voucher Roadmap. Simply mark the checkbox under the Miscellaneous Options. As transactions are entered in GP, records are added to the transaction lifecycle tables. These tables will continue to grow, so you may eventually want to remove some of the older records. You may use the Auditor Table Archive Purge window to remove the older records. To access this window, go to the Auditor shortcut and click Auditor Setup. In this window, click Auditor Table Archive and Purge. From here, select the table. You can click the Edit button to build your query. And once your query is built, click OK, and then click Purge. If you've had Auditor for a while, you're probably familiar with the e-sign feature that's included. E-sign is a wonderful feature in Auditor, but when a user made a change, they had to stop what they were doing and await an approval before they could continue with their work. With queued approvals, a user can make a change and submit the request for approval to an e-sign approver. The approver can deny or approve the request, allowing the user to continue with the change or discard it with the click of a button. Let's go through an example. We'll use an e-sign on the vendor check name field because we don't want users to change that field without our approval. For ease, I've already created the e-sign, so now we want to assign the e-sign to our vendor maintenance window. A new wizard has been added to replace the e-sign assign signature window. The wizard will guide you through the process of assigning a signature. So open the e-sign signature assignment window under Actions, Assignments. Click the plus for a new assignment. Click Next in the wizard, and then select your signature name. We'll select Check Name. And in the Can this signature be queued field, leave it as Yes, because we want to allow the signature to be queued for approval. Click Next, and then open the Vendor Maintenance window. And click Next. Place your cursor in the field where you want the signature to be assigned. So click in Check Name, and then click Next. Click the Save button, and then Next. And then in this window, we're going to select our identifier fields. So let's choose Vendor ID and select. And you can select additional fields if you'd like, but we're going to click Next. And in this window, we'll select our reference fields. These are the fields that will display to the approver so they have more information on the record. We'll choose Vendor Name, Vendor Account, and Class ID. And then click Next. I can review my information here and click Next. You can click Finish here, or you can choose to display the signature assignment window. We'll display it and click Finish. And now I can review my information and make any additional changes here. Click OK, and then click OK to the signature assignment window. I have logged in as another user and will go to the vendor maintenance window and change the check name. So in here, I'm going to select Beaumont Construction, and they have had a name change to Beaumont & Sons Construction. When I tab off, the eSign window will open, and I can enter the password and a reason if one is required. Then select an approver, and we'll select SA. The Approve, Submit, and Queue buttons are available, but since we want to send it to the approval queue, we'll click Queue. You receive a message letting you know that it's queued for approval and that you'll be notified once the request has been approved or denied. And save the record. Now back to the Approver screen. The Approval window will open if there are unapproved change requests. Let's double-click the request and review the change that was made. I can see what field was changed, the old value, and what the new value is. And when I'm ready, I can approve or deny the request. We'll click Approve, enter the password, and then click Approve. And then click OK to both windows. Let's go back to the other install, where the requester is logged in. When the approver has approved or denied the change, a pop-up will notify the requester, or they can go directly to the window under Microsoft Dynamics GP, Tools, Utilities, eSign, and Queued Approval Requests. They can also open the window where they originally made a change, and the eSign Request Status window will open. Here they can apply or decline the change, or they can click Later and select a time in the future. We'll go ahead and click Apply, but notice that the vendor maintenance window needs to be closed so that the change can be saved. So we'll close the window and then click Apply. If we go back to vendor maintenance and select Beaumont Construction, we can see the change has been saved. Another new feature with eSign is the ability to put a signature on a button. Previously, you could put a signature on fields only. So let's put an eSign on the Payroll Pay Code window and when we save a new record. To make things easier, I've already created an eSign signature, so let's create the assignment. Open the eSign Signature Assignment window and click the plus for New. The wizard will open. Go ahead and click Next and choose the signature. We'll choose Pay Code, and we're going to change the Can this signature be queued to No. Click Next, and then open the Pay Code window. Click Next, click Save, and the signature field should be for the Save button. Click Next, and then select your reference fields. We'll select Employee ID, Pay Code, and click Next. Review the information, click Next, click Finish. And now open the Pay Code window, select an employee, and the Pay Code, and we'll change their salary. When I click Save, I'm prompted for an eSign approval. So from here, continue on as normal with the approval process. The next feature we'll review is the SQL Database Table ID Reconcile. When you use SQL Table audits, the identifier field is stored as the RSA SQL Database Table ID. This is to accommodate the primary key field having a 254-character restriction. The field isn't large enough to store the database name and table. This is why an ID is used instead. This works until the ID changes due to a restore or table uninstall or reinstall is done, and the IDs are no longer the same. To resolve this issue in the past, you would export the audit group, delete the group ID in GP, and then re-import the audit group. Rather than having to go through those steps, we've added a new feature to reconcile those IDs. To run the reconcile, go to your Auditor shortcut and click Auditor Setup. Under the Setup tab, click Reconcile. And then mark SQL Database Table IDs, and click Process. When it's complete, the report prints so you can see what changes were made. You may have noticed in previous versions an option called Debug Mode under the Troubleshooting tab. It's used to assist the Rockton software support team in troubleshooting issues. Typically, you would not need to use it unless we have asked. To make this option a bit more intuitive, we have renamed this option to Diagnostic Mode, since there are different methods used to diagnose an issue. Let's take a look at the Troubleshooting tab. Using the Auditor shortcut, click Auditor Setup, and then click the Troubleshooting tab. Here I can see Diagnostics Mode. I can click here and make my selections. To make things even easier, a new window has been added so the script logging can easily be turned off and on. Previously, the option was named Enable Script Logging. This has been changed to Enable or Disable Script Logging. This opens the new Enable or Disable Script Logging window. The Enable or Disable Script Logging window allows you to choose whether to begin the logging immediately or the next time you log in. You may also select the location of where the script log file will be created and saved. This eliminates the need to edit the dex.ini and use the debug menu as on previous versions. The changes made to the Troubleshooting tab will help make clear which option to use when requested by support to gather information. There you have it, the latest features in Auditor. If you have any questions or ideas for new tools or features, contact us at 877-4ROCKTON or email sales@rocktonsoftware.com. If you have any questions on our tools, contact support@rocktonsoftware.com.